Good morning, everybody. Listen, today I've got two huge Granny Smith apples, and we are going to make an apple cobbler out of them because my granddaughter is home from, she's home from college for spring break, and I asked her what she wanted, and she told me. I wanted my other grandchildren to come here during spring break, but they did not get to. So the first thing you want to do is to cut your apple. Actually, you're supposed to cut them in fourths, but these are so huge that I think I'm going to have to cut them in 6 pieces like this. And I'll show you the reason why later. Cut the little center out of it and then go ahead and just peel that little part off. And yeah, these are huge apples, but we're going to make this little cobbler for our lunch today. And listen, I thought what I would try to do is show y'all everything I'm going to cook for Sunday lunch. But here's the situation. If I do that, it's going to take too much time on one video. So here's what I think that I'm going to do if it's okay with y'all. I am going to cook it all and try to show you most of the stuff that I'm going to cook today. Cut that little center part out. You don't want any of that hard part in there, okay? You know how apple will have a little hard part down there in it. And yes, I could have peeled them first, but I didn't. See how huge those are? Look how wide. And that's cutting it into 6 pieces. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I'm going to I'll try to video all of them. And what I'll do, if I think about it, I'll try to put on a different apron in every one of the dishes. That way when we get ready to look at it, we'll know that, hey, we hadn't seen that one. So I'm cutting it in 6 pieces. And I've got 2 apples, so I'm going to cut that one in 6 pieces, which is going to give us 12 dumplings out of just 2 apples. And you could use some other kind of apple, but actually these Granny Smith are the ones that work better with this. And I'm going to show you how to do it. All right. Now, here's our 6 pieces, and I'm going to cut this other apple up too. But I'm fixing to turn y'all off for a second while I do it, because you've seen me do one. And there's the 6 pieces right there. Aren't they pretty? And sour. Ooh, woo. All right, I'm about through with the second apple. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. When I was a little girl, I had a first cousin that would come see her granny, and I'd go see my granny, and we'd spend a lot of time together because our grannies were sisters. Well, anyway, Aunt Hattie B, which was her granny, had a huge apple tree, and it was like these. Those apples were that big around, and they were green, and I loved sour things. So we would go over there to Aunt Hattie B's, or she called her Big Mama's, what she called her, because that was her Big Mama. And we would go out there and pick us an apple fresh off the tree, and then Big Mama had a big porch. It's kind of like a side porch. She didn't have a front porch, but she had a side porch. And we'd sit on that side porch, and y'all, we would take our salt shaker and shake salt all over that apple and eat that whole apple. It would be this big, and we'd eat salt on it. I love salt on fruit, but I wish, I don't know whatever happened to that tree. But it was an old-timey kind. It wasn't one of these hybrids that does all this stuff. It was just an old-timey apple tree, and I wish I had a cutting off of that tree that I could root me some. All right, y'all, we ready to grease our pan. This is probably a 9 by 11, 9 by 13, something like that. And I like to just take my butter and just do around like that. And get it greased good. And here's what we're going to do. Y'all aren't going to believe I'm going to use canned biscuits today. This is out of my comfort zone, but this is what this recipe calls for. So I'm going to do it. get you some the cheapest ones you can find, the biscuits that say flaky, okay? Open up your can, and I wish y'all could have seen me jump a while ago when I opened up that can. Now, here's the reason you want flaky, is because you're going to take this biscuit and you're going to divide it down this way through the center so that you have two separate, even things like that. Okay, that's what you want. Then take your thumbs. Let's see if I can. I'll do it this way. Let me show you how I do it. Let me show you how I do it. I take mine and spread it out best I can. I guess you could roll it, but you really don't need to. Well, there's an apple seed. And then you take your wedge that you cut and you put the curved side in the center like that, and you pull this gently over your apple, and you want to close it up in there like this. You don't want any holes in it, so be careful. All right, I've got it completely surrounded with my biscuit, okay? And you want to lay it in your pan with the smooth side up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it right there, smooth side up. Then I'm going to take this other half, spread it out like that. Put it down in there like that, and gently wrap it around like this. You kind of squish it with your fingers. I've got my oven preheated, or preheating, it's not quite there yet, on 350 degrees. All right, I've got that one wrapped. See that hole right there? I'm going to work on that. I do not want that hole. Now, there's a reason for that. I don't want my apple coming out into the pan. When we eat it, we want it all in there. So that's how it does, like that. Sit it kind of next to the other one, like this. Like that, okay? Now, I'm going to continue on and get them all done, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, we're almost through wrapping them. I could have used a little bit of smaller pan. I had two apples that were way too big, so I cut a little sliver off of each one to make another dumpling because they were too big. These apples were huge. So you could make 16 out of this can of biscuits because there's 8 biscuits in that can. And I divided them, in half, and so that would make 16. It would feed 16 people. But you can see here that I could have had a little bit smaller pan, okay? And I've got, actually, this much dough left over one biscuit because I didn't have enough apple. There's that seed again. He just wanting to get out here every time, isn't he? I guess what I could do is use this dough for something else. Look at my refrigerator and see what we got to stick in it. Let's do. Okay, I got this one biscuit left, and I looked in there to see what I had, and I had some peach preserves, and I'm gonna stick some in here just to see. This is an experiment. I don't know if it'll work or not, but we're gonna see. I'll eat this one plus an apple one. All right, there we go. Let's spread it out. All right, let's put some preserves in it. This may be delicious, y'all. Okay, let's see if we can pull it up around it. Probably won't. It'd be hard to pull it up around it, won't it? Oh, come on, fella. I think I'm making a big fat mess. That's what I think. I don't think this is going to work, y'all. Hey, I want to tell you something, too. I'm going to stick it in there anyway. I'm going to stick it in just right there, upside down. Let me rinse my hands off. Hey, listen, let me tell y'all something. Do not, now absolutely, remember this. Do not wash your apple off after you've peeled it, because it'll wet that apple and your dough will not stick to it. So when you get through peeling it, don't put it in water. Don't wash it off. Just do it like that. All right, here we go. Here's our pan. Now let's get out our ingredients to put over it, and we're going to bake it. Okay, y'all, this is what you do. You're going to pour all this over your dumplings. We're going to have 2 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar, and 2 sticks of butter. 2, 2, and 2. 2, 2, 2, 2. We're going to put this in the microwave on high for how many minutes you think? Everything's been 2 so far, so we're going to do 2 minutes. 2 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar, 2 sticks of butter, and put it in the microwave for 2 minutes or until your butter is melted. Stir it up really good and pour it over the top of those, and make sure that you get some juice on the top of each dumpling. That is important. You don't want to just put it in easy in the top, not have anything on it, okay? So now let's go put it in there for 2 minutes. Hey y'all, I had to leave my stuff in the microwave for 4 minutes, and it still didn't completely melt. Let me show you what I'm saying. See, I've got a little bit of butter that's still not melted. I'm going to stir a little bit. I'm going to get my sugar all mixed up inside of that. And y'all, I bought some vanilla ice cream. So we're going to have this apple dumpling with, and you want a lot of juice in there. So if you're cooking it on 350 and you're supposed to cook it for 45 minutes, if it looks like it's drying up or that biscuit has soaked up all of this, make you a little sugar water and put over it. Or put you a little more in there. You don't have to put any more butter, but you might need to put some of that. All right, this is mixed as good as I'm going to mix it. Okay, let's get this. And here's what you want to do. Now, make sure that you get it over the... let me get you up here. We're going to put you down in there. There you go. All right, here we go. We're going to pour it over it. Now, that might help a little. Okay, here we go. Let's pour it over it. Make sure you get some on the top of each little biscuit. We're not going to cover this. We're just going to bake it just like this. And it's going to have a lot of juice in it, hopefully, when we get done, okay? Doesn't that look pretty? All right. Can you see good? All right, now we're going to put it in our oven on 350 degrees. If I can do it without dropping it, spilling it, and all that kind of stuff. All right, we're going to leave it in for 45 minutes, or I'm going to check it at 45 minutes. And you want your top to be brown, but not hard brown. But that's why it's so important to put that juice on top of it so the whole dumpling kind of gets wet. All right, let's wait for 45 minutes and we're going to check it out. Oh, y'all, our pie is done. I peeked and it looks so good. I can't wait for you to see it. Here it is. It's a good thing I left it in this big pan. Now what we've got is we've still got some juice in there. Can you see it kind of bubbling around there? And that's what you want. You don't want to cook it till it's dry. That's why I said if you need to add a little bit of juice, you could. But that looks really good. What I'm going to do, since we're not going to eat it right this second, because we're going to church, and I'm going to get a little of that juice and just put over the top of each one so it doesn't dry out while we're gone. Sorry, I forget that y'all can't see. All right, here we go, like that. Oh man, doesn't that look super good? You want all this juice in there, and when you put it in the bowl for y'all to eat it, make sure you get some juice in everybody's little bowl. Put their ice cream on top. All right, that's it. I'm gonna sit it over here and let it stay warm close to the stove, and while we're doing other things. I got on my bedroom shoes this morning. It's hard for me to cook dinner in not bedroom shoes. Y'all, you're going to have to make this pie now. It is really good. And if you don't want to put apples in it, what you can do is buy those frozen sweet potato circles and cut each circle in half and have sweet potato dumplings. Or you can put whatever you want to in yours, okay? But y'all are going to love this recipe. You are. See you next time.